Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. I'm, of course, Nick McDaniel, and as always, I am joined by my man Myron.
Hey, folks, today is the long-awaited episode where I read Bray Wyatt tweets and Nick explains them to me.
It would take a translation to say
It's time to tap out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we would be pretty quick in the episode.
Oh,
Um,
God.
Today's episode is long overdue on our side. Let's just go with that. We are recording 10 hours late.
Technology is great for a pharmacist and a life insurance salesman. We do the best we can.
Yeah, podcast. Oh, geez, what a nightmare. Yeah, we always joke about those are the ones that we should, put the behind the scenes recording. If had I recorded all day today with the nightmare that was record, it would have been a episode all of in itself. However, I probably would have made it exclusive on YouTube. That is right, on our YouTube channel behind the paywall there. You can become a member. Just sign up and you pick your tier and get all the extras there. Also, just if you're casual listener, make sure you like the page, subscribe, turn your notifications on, all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So that way you don't ever miss anything as we're putting it out. Because, yeah, everybody was thrown for a loop, Myron. I talked to somebody today, like, what day did you guys move the show? Well, I was like, we talked about it. It's Tuesday, man.
Yep.
So, that was an adventure in itself. But, man, it's a crazy week. And if we've got some time at the end of the show, I might try to dive into some of the stuff that I witnessed this weekend. We're going to see how long it takes to get to the mailbag. Because, yes, we're back to the mailbag because it started to pile up this week. Because people are excited, Myron. Lots of stuff going on in wrestling.
Well, there's a little bit of a fire under wrestling right now. And hopefully we'll get this episode finished so I can watch Raw in time.
Yeah, we're probably going to be behind, but it's going to be right at it by the time. Yeah, we're recording at 7:05. So I got 55 minutes to get the episode in, right, Myron? Because then Raw comes on, and we just can go.
We'll get it done. Don't worry.
Oh, we'll get it done nonetheless. But yeah,
everybody likes the game era so far. I watched SmackDown and I was really excited about it, especially this part.
Okay.
Brent from Liberty, Indiana, wants to know, where do you think the WWE goes with the Drew Kross Reigns story about Kross's big return to SmackDown? Or after Kross? Jesus Christ, that was a hell of a question.
It was.
Send that guy back to English class.
Well, Brent. I'll get started on that answer then. While you're befuddled, I'll use my big English word, right? Well, first of all, I think Karrion Kross has got to be the. I know other people think like the Bayley return with Io Sky, Dakota Kai. That was kind of his first chess piece move, right? That was his move.
Yeah.
This is no disrespect, and I mean this when I say that was a pawn move. That was his initial.
Oh.
He moved a pawn 2 spots up on the board. Kross is the first, like, I'm moving like a bishop, or I'm moving a knight, or so. It was the first big move. Like, hey, we're on. That was to me probably his first, like, key definitive Triple H moment at having Kross come back.
Man. That's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane. Karrion Kross out of nowhere. I didn't even think about it. I'd heard, Karrion Kross. He's this. Oh God, it's so crazy. Who's next? Who's next? That's why I want to watch Raw, because I wonder who's next. And part of me thinks my prediction, if I want to make a Triple H prediction, I'm going with Gargano is next.
You think he comes back?
I think he comes back.
I think he comes back. But, and I think we're going to see a lot of that, and we'll probably even get into that a little bit as we go along as well. But let's answer back to Brent's question.
Yes.
Look, there's these rumors that USA Network's grumbling they want a world champion on their show. They don't have one right now because Roman doesn't show up every week. First of all, Roman doesn't show up to TV every week, much less he hasn't been on Raw very much since he's been the champion. So I get that part. I actually agree with that, which is crazy, because remember my take was always like, I like the belts unified.
Yeah.
But I also think that that's part of signing up for being champion is that you're going to be on both shows all the time.
So a wrestling belt means something.
Absolutely.
To TV producers.
Apparently so. Yep.
Because it's a draw. And I think people are finally discovering that after years of saying it didn't mean anything. Right now, financially and for advertisers and things like that, gotta have a belt.
See, the danger that I think they may fall into though is like they say they want a world champion on their product. That's what they're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my question is do you want a world champion or do you want the world champion? And what I mean by that is, again, no disrespect, Drew McIntyre, and this is a rhetorical question because I when I get to the end, I'll actually give you my answer on it. And Karrion Kross, are those two your world champions? Like, is that who USA wants? Because that's what we're hearing, right? That potentially one of these guys could take one of the titles off of Roman and be the Raw champion, the world champion on Raw. First, I'll ask you, do you think either one of those guys could fill that void, like to be a world champion?
Okay. I love Karrion Kross. I don't think he's that television, for lack of a way to put it, the television champion. He's the guy that holds the program open. Drew held the whole store down during COVID. Okay. Drew will never be known as the most charismatic or interesting wrestling champion ever, but he's probably one of the most valuable because when the company had nobody else and things were really bad and people were getting COVID, Drew stepped up and took the ball and ran with it and did a great job.
Yeah, but he beat Brock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Became champion. And did he beat Brock? Shit, who did he beat? I can't even remember.
I don't know.
But he was like I said, he was. I always affectionately call him the pandemic champion.
Yes.
And that because that's who. But then then of course, that's my question now. I think he is. I do. And shockingly, I will tell you, I think Karrion Kross could be.
I don't think enough people know who he is yet.
But if he beats Roman, everybody will want to know who he is. That I think it's a way just to the shock value of and I look again. I love Austin Theory, but I didn't think Austin Theory was probably ready to be the champion. I love Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux as a package, and him being champion. Now I agree. We had this conversation. How do you get there? Like we've talked about how like Clash of the Castle as a triple threat or two separate matches. Like there's multiple ways you could get there, right?
Yeah. It's you could book this a lot of different ways and get something out of it. As much as I hate triple threat, so I think that's probably the best way to do it. Like a 2 out of 3 falls triple threat.
That's one option. Like you could go like blah blah blah. That's one option. Here's my story. If you're trying to protect Reigns a little bit, the two different avenues are you could do the triple threat, and Kross could pin McIntyre, or McIntyre could pin Kross, and Roman's protected for one of the titles or something. Or you want to make somebody and protect Roman, make Roman wrestle twice, defend each title separately, and one guy, like if he had to wrestle Kross earlier in the night, and he beat Karrion Kross for the Universal Championship, and then Drew wrestled him later in the night for the WWE Championship. That's the Raw belt, remember?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you beat him, but
he'd already had a match.
He'd already had a match, and who knows how you could pin it down. I mean, you could do
Paul
it
would love that.
I mean, something. And even Austin Theory could get involved.
He don't have a box anymore.
He didn't cash in.
He cashed in.
When?
At SummerSlam.
No, he tried, and he didn't get it off in time. He got attacked before he actually cashed in. Yeah.
Shit.
So, look, between the triple threat, and I would love to know what fans and, listeners think. Would you go triple threat? Would you make Roman go twice? Or do you just buckle and say, like, Roman, suck it up, Buttercup. You're going to be on both shows as long as you're the double champion. Because we talked about this off air a little bit, that if you take the WWE belt off of him, he's still got this run going because he's Universal Champion is what he's been for that long, that 700 plus days.
Yeah.
So you could just say he's been champion still for 700 plus days or whatever.
So basically, whoever gets the WWE Championship, Drew McIntyre's already on Raw.
Yeah.
Kross would, hadn't gone. Where's he at? I heard they were doing another draft, aren't they?
I think they're going to do one. Somebody said probably like September, maybe.
Okay.
But
when are they clashing at the castle?
It's the beginning of September, right? Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
So it's just a few weeks away.
Hmm.
So lots of pieces to get into.
A lot of moving pieces too.
But while we're on the subject of champions, Myra, let's go ahead and move on to the next question.
This is my favorite question of the whole day. Jace from Cedar Springs, Michigan asks, what do you guys think of X-Pac's statement that Logan Paul could be WWE Championship material? What do you think, Nick?
I'm all for it. Mr. Controversy me, right? Is it possible? 100%. First, let me read the quote first, because I know not everybody may have heard it. X-Pac said, he's a natural, man. Huge future. A lot of people can be great athletes like him, but he has and I'm saying likes because he actually said it. Sorry, it drives me. I have a problem reading it when it's worded this way. He has like an aptitude for this, man. His timing is really good. He grasps the psychology of a match. I got nothing but praise for that guy. He could be like WWE champion material at some point. Got to call it like I see it. So that was X-Pac's. I'm not going to read the Triple H one. I had one on here because he was on Impulsive, his podcast. Paul, Logan Paul's. And it was, look, I can't disagree with, he clearly has shown in 2 matches, by the way, that he has, he's he's taken to it like a duck in water.
Oh, yeah.
From the physical standpoint.
Yeah.
Charisma, dude, he was oozing with it before he got there. He's done boxing. He's done all the podcast stuff. So that part, he already has it. And, let me ask you a sidebar, because I promised I wouldn't, but I have to ask this. How, why do we as a fan even feel the desire? I saw these things going around about people saying that Logan Paul in 2 matches has made what Dominic Mysterio has done in 2 years, just completely crapping on Dominic. And I'm like, but why do we, here's the thing, especially other wrestlers that I would see share, because I'm like, everybody picks it up different. I mean, there are wrestlers who have been on the indie scene for a decade who I see somebody, and I don't go whoa, that guy picked it up faster than that guy. You know, I mean, why even the need to do that? Why not be just
everybody wants to shit on Dominic Mysterio. Okay, I get it. His dad got him the job, and he's not very impressive. Okay, he tries really hard, but he looks like he never goes to the gym, and he has the charisma of cardboard. So when a guy like Logan Paul comes in and does all this stuff, people want to like that guy. He's the likable guy.
Logan Paul, I still feel, and I was hoping he would get it at a Judgment Day. Remember a while back we were talking about that man up moment? Proc had it with Tank and Azrael at the Anarchy show. There's always a moment where a babyface, all right, I'm gonna man, you know what I mean? I'm gonna man up and I'm gonna show you how tough you have to believe, babyface or heel, at some point. You have to show how tough you can be.
Yeah.
So, but off my Dominic Mysterio. You go ahead.
Do you have any Pokemon cards for sale over at Tax Battle Collectibles?
I do not. I have 2.
Maybe you ought to get some, because that could be a trend, man.
Yeah, I have 2 in the closet, but they're not mine. I've got them. I was going to send off for somebody, but for grading. But yeah, I don't. But I'm always open. If I get a good deal on them, I'll buy them and sell them. You know me, man. But back to Logan Paul. Look, he's a draw. Even though it probably drives the purists crazy that he's even involved, he's a natural at this. He's clearly putting in the work.
From the moment they let Cyndi Lauper in the door, this kind of thing was going to happen. It was going to continue to happen because it worked.
Dude,
okay.
Back then, even before that, Dusty had Waylon, and Willie and David Allen Coe at Great American Bashes and stuff. So, yeah. But now I know they weren't wrestling, but again, it progressed. But you listen, I'm by no stretch of the imagination am I saying he's the guy that beats Roman Reigns. Not saying that at all. Although, I'm just, no, I'm not saying that.
Not today, not tomorrow, but there's a lot of future in professional wrestling for him.
I think so. And I think that surprisingly with the right opponent as a champion, yes, I could see him capturing it. And I wouldn't actually say like it wouldn't be a David Arquette moment that everybody tries to crap on. And I'm not even crapping on David Arquette, by the way, because we all know I'm a fan of that guy. But I just think that there is that potential. Like I think if given the opportunity, I think he could be he could become the WWE champion, and as much as everybody, that would probably make their head explode. So, but like you said, kid's got a future. But hey, look. But if you're looking at your future, Myron, where in the world should they look? Athletic Greens. Our next partner has a product I use literally every day. I started taking AG1 because I wanted more energy and I wanted to see what was all the hype about. So what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, even aging. I personally use it because when I started this keto fasting diet I'm on, I was worried about the energy I was going to have. Not now. It supports better sleep quality, recovery, mental clarity, even alertness. By the way, it's cheaper than getting all the different supplements that's in this thing. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews and even recommended by professional athletes. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient and daily nutrition. It's one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements that you're looking to look out for your health. So to make it easy for you, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you got to do is visit their website at athleticgreens.com/emerging. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/emerging to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. That's right, buddy. Check out our friends over at athleticgreens.com/emerging and sign up today, man.
They offered me a job, Nick. I didn't tell you about this.
No.
They're looking for before models.
Gotcha. Well played, sir. Well played.
All
righty, man. Well, hey, look, while we're talking about, jobs and opportunities, Myron.
Yes.
Jump into
Corey
that next question.
From Akron, Ohio. Don't know it tires there, I think. What do you guys think about the rumors of some talents being afraid of keeping their spots now that HHH is in charge? Well, you got a picture of Madcap Moss.
Look,
can they stop calling him the other guy Happy yet?
I like Happy Corbin. I do.
I think we're going to start seeing some of those gimmicks fade out.
Probably.
Silly gimmicks.
I mean,
but your boss is gone, Nick. Your boss retired. You're one of his loyal employees. What happens?
Look, because we talked about this before we came on. Like, it only makes sense. Like, I mean, it's a job still, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Your supervisor changes. Like, you immediately, the first thing you think, and this is like us. Like, I'm talking like us people, like regular old Joe Schmo. The supervisor changes, and like now you start wondering, like, hey, how does that affect my position in the company? Like, I mean, I tell people all the time, like, there was a company, I'm not going to name it because, anyway, I honestly was spoiled, like in the 99, 2000, 2001 range. Like my district manager absolutely loved me. My regional manager absolutely loved me. And then when, they moved on, Like, it was a complete, like, whoa. Because now it's like, you're starting all over. These people are like, these new people, like, you got to start all over, get proving yourself. And I'm like, hey, it's funny. And I didn't say this, but in a part of your head, you're going like, I mean, don't you know who I am? I'm like,
I'm Nick.
I'm Nick. Like, I've been doing this for a while. Like, I mean, good or bad.
When I was when I was younger, I always tried to get over on whatever boss I had as soon as possible to find something. But these days, it just terrifies me when we change bosses. Ugh.
Yeah, luckily I haven't experienced that. Yeah, I haven't experienced that. So I'm happy. But, but when it comes to situations like talents like that Maximum Male Models group, Madcap Moss, we talked about Ezekiel, Omos, Veer Mahant, like the characters that we feel like clearly scream Vince McMahon.
Lacey Evans.
Exactly.
Like cotton panties. Wasn't that what he said about Sable?
Oh yeah, I mean,
so it's that thing. It's the people Vince really focused on took a thing, and you could tell he had something to do with their gimmicks. Okay, because their gimmicks seem a little weird and out of touch at times.
Well, but here's the thing. Like,
where are you going to go with those guys?
But here's the thing. Like, I think there are talents like that we just had on that list. Like, I think Lacey Evans is somebody that Triple H will look at and go like, I like her. I don't like her gimmick. I want to fix it. Like, I want to make her something that I like instead. Does that make sense?
Well, how about this Dominic Dijakovic guy, or whatever how you say his name, who has gotten the shittiest gimmicks ever in wrestling, and could have had a chance a long time ago. Maybe he's like, well, maybe Triple H will try me, as Dominic Dijakovic, and I can wrestle.
Yeah, I think he will. I think that's a guy Triple H will completely repackage and hate what he's in and go back to what he used him as. I think that'll scream it.
Sheamus' entire stable.
That's true.
Okay. You got to do something about that shit.
Listen,
sad.
People laugh. I said something the other day. I was like, with Triple H in charge, don't be stunned if Sheamus gets a push. Because remember, they were workout buddies. He was friends with Triple H for a long time. Like, I was like, dude, don't be shocked if Sheamus is back into the title picture. Somebody was like, no, get out of here. I'm like, why? They were buddies, man. They were tight. But look, on the other hand, though, I try to tell people, I don't think Triple H he's not going to go the other avenue and go like all hardcore wrestling. Like, he gets it. Like, and
yeah,
there's still going to be some entertainment to keep the casual fans happy. Because what do we always say, Myron? And I said this on a video I did behind the paywall the other day, where I said, if wrestling was solely about what happens in the ring and the great competitive action, and I hated this, I almost said, the best in-ring action that you're going to, and I'm like, dude, Ring of Honor wouldn't be where it's at now if that were the case. WWE wouldn't be where they are if that were the case.
True story. It's just a true story because, I mean, a lot of those guys that are great wrestlers have zero charisma. Yeah. Zero personality. And if you're a boxer or you're an MMA fighter, that's okay.
Right. How did I get you, Myron? It was about wrestling. And I was like, you thought Undertaker was dead.
Yes.
Like, that's my point. Like, there still has to be some characters. It can't be all just
Moondog.
Right.
He's a law enforcement officer from Cobb County, Georgia. Okay. Some of these, I mean, it's part of the whole package. It's the goofiness sometimes. It's the unpredictability. It's the comic book shit. To me, that makes it entertaining.
Look, I think if you do like a 75-25 or 70-30 or something, I mean, even 60-40, look, I think, and I know a lot of people think he's in the danger. I think the Ezekiel Elias / Kevin Owens stuff is hilarious. But
are we going to see more of it?
I hope so.
Or is Kevin going a different direction?
Could be. I don't know. I mean, he could, for all I know, he could shoot right back into the world title picture. Who knows? Because I know Triple H is a fan of his too. But my thing is, don't rush to judgment and kill all that. Because let me ask you this: if you think I'm wrong, and this goes out to anybody listening, tappedoutpod@gmail.com. If you think I'm wrong that pure wrestling is what matters, and you don't like any of that other goofy stuff, tell me you did not enjoy Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. Because I will tell you this. I remember after WrestleMania was over, I raved about how I thought that match was so entertaining. It wasn't a great 5-star match, but dude, it was awesome. And then I went back and watched Sami Zayn on Broken Skull Sessions, and he even says that's probably one of his favorite matches all time. Because of how what they did in that match and how he breaks it down. And I was like, I told you people this was a good match. Like, I'm not crazy. And here's the thing. When I say good match, I mean entertaining. Yeah, I was entertained by it. That's the most important thing that you can be is entertained by it.
Hey, one of the best matches I've seen in a while was Ric Flair's last match. Seriously.
And let's be honest, the match we thought was not good. Like,
no, the wrestling sucked.
I mean,
even the guys that could wrestle weren't able to go 100% because they'd have to go against Rick. And Jeff Jarrett looked like $1 million wrestling a corpse. Okay, think about it, man.
Zombie Flair's in full force.
Jeff Jarrett could still go, man. He could probably work a full-time schedule. And I agreed with you, but the thing was, he was able to do that at that level of difficulty.
Right.
Okay? He had no dance partner.
So, yeah.
I'm
right there with you, man.
Flair was one of the greatest entertainers.
I agree.
So I think it's very important.
Lots of key parts. And let's get into that a little bit with our next question, because I know there's some parts that'll tangle in with that.
Yes. Mitch from Grove Hill, Alabama. I've actually been there. It's probably been about 40 years ago. Is AEW and Tony Khan fighting against WBE much more difficult? Fight. I read that wrong. Their fight against WBE much more difficult with Triple H in charge. Well, yes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can answer. I say yes. You can't say, well, that old man is out of touch, because Triple H is the guy you wanted in the thing. Triple H is the guy that's always praised with all the wonderful contributions he's made to wrestling. Everything he's ever done. NXT, when it was great, was Triple H. This is really Tony Khan's test. And, everybody's saying Tony Khan's acting crazy backstage and yelling into the microphones. Yelling into the headsets of his announcers. Maybe the pressure's got to him now.
He's becoming the Vince McMahon.
He's becoming the Vince McMahon.
I think he's learning that. And listen, by the way, I still to this day say I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to be fine. I think they've got some of the right pieces now. They've moved some chess pieces on the board.
Yes.
I think they've got some of the right people in the right places. But what he does face in this, though, is that Triple H is somebody as head of creative that actually is somebody who can tap into that diehard fan base and what they're looking for. Triple H understands and knows.
Yes.
A lot of people said Vince was disconnected and he didn't get it. And he wasn't giving the fans that. Triple H does. Oh, but by the way, he also understands and taps into a casual fan base because he's been around that forever.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got the best of both worlds. Got the best of both
And he's
worlds.
more popular in Hollywood probably than Vince was. He's more accepted in mainstream media. What's not to love?
Part of the other thing that people forget is when we were talking about WWE was so far ahead of AEW, and they should have been because they've been at it for decades longer.
Yes.
Triple H, by the way, also has all of that experience at his belt. So
he's been in the ring.
Yeah. I mean the production teams and all of those people that are still there. Like, he has all of that at his disposal. And it's, when what all the things that he knows because he's been in the game for so long, and that the biggest obstacle I think Tony Khan faced was everybody claimed he was the guy because he was more in touch with what fans wanted. Well, Triple H is right there in that game with him, if not more so. Mm-hmm. He's also more apt in the casual base. And be honest with you, the biggest thing I think they lost, and I think I've expressed this in the past, they lost their heel. AEW babyface lost their heel because Vince McMahon was the heel everybody hated, and with him gone now, everybody seems to be all praises and love, and that just, I mean, to me personally, again, I think they'll be fine, so don't overreact what I'm saying here, but I think that snatched the momentum rug right out from under them.
It's like Vader died halfway through Empire Strikes Back. Where do you go? What do you do?
Actually, let's go the other route. When Vader dies in Jedi, that's my argument of why the sequels, not the prequels, the sequels, they don't have the juice because you don't have Vader anymore. They don't
have the antagonist. They don't have that evil antagonist that the series was built on the tension of him fighting. Oh.
You had an antagonist. You just, in my opinion, you didn't have a good one.
Yeah, I never really understood the last.
Yeah, I mean, Kylo Ren, because the whole time with Kylo, you're like, dude, come on, man, you got to be the.
He was an emo. He was an emo.
He wasn't.
And I'm sorry.
He wasn't Vader, who was just downright nasty.
Yes, and that's before even special effects were good. He was just a guy in a big padded costume.
And you know what's funny? You want to turn Star Wars? Cody Rhodes, if he's listening to this, I'd love to hear his reaction. That's why the babyface turn by Vader gets a bigger pop than Kylo Ren's. Because of how far he was as a heel versus Kylo. I don't think we ever bought the...
Holy shit. Yes. It involved his son. It was a big thing.
Just when he turns and snatches the Emperor, pop. Like a babyface pop. Kylo turns, you're like, Jesus, just... put this kid out of his misery. It's like,
that's what I feel sad for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Was Han out on too many Kessel runs to be there for him? Is that why he stabbed him with it?
It must have been. He was just, there was a whole other thing. But, But anyways, yes. Wow. To cut back to the chase here, AEW.
Well, it's like wrestling. The bigger the heel, the turn goes so much harder.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway.
It's like literature here.
We're trying to just make some magic, right? Yeah, exactly. But speaking of making magic, when you're shaving your sack and you're trying to look good, check out our friends over at Manscaped. That's magic.
Whoa! Personal foul.
What the feezy?
You can't use a beard trimmer below the 50-yard line. This is the waterproof lawnmower 4.0 by Manscaped.
What's the difference?
It's got new skin-safe technology to help reduce cuts and nicks. It's powerful, yet gentle, just like me.
Dog, I appreciate you.
Boop. Hey, watch out. I'm not ticklish.
Get yours at manscaped.com.
That's right, man. If you don't have your Manscaped, you don't have your Lawnmower 4.0, go over, check into the show notes. The link is there, man. Give it a click. Check them out, man. I love my lawnmower. That's all I'm going to say.
Did you get the one with the light on it?
I did.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. I always tell everybody, it's amazing.
I like when he goes to, that commercial always tickles me when he points the clippers at the little guy and look at like, ah. Yeah, I love that.
More maybe behind the wall, I'll explain how the lotions and the powders and the sprays all work. They're phenomenal. I'm a huge, huge fan. Again, go to the show notes and support the thing. Let's go ahead and jump right into the next question while you have that befuddled look on your face, Myron.
You're weaving a blanket or something, aren't you?
Yeah.
Alan from Tunica, Mississippi. This is the question. This is the mark question I keep hearing. Do you think MJF is getting out of his contract and heading to WWE soon?
No. Sorry, man. That's a quick.
That's like Tony ain't going to let his best heel go.
Mm-mm.
Jericho is not a good heel anymore. I'm sorry. In his prime, yes. Today he's kind of cartoonish.
He's a phenomenal babyface.
Yes. Well, Becky Lynch is a shitty heel too, because they're popular people. You can't be popular. MJF is popular for being hated. He's just hated. The MJF is a throwback.
Yeah.
To Bobby Heenan. He's just a hateable character, and he does such a good job.
it's not that he's just great at his job, which he is, I think. People forget the reason he's trying to hold out, quote unquote, everybody thinks, and he's trying to get more money is because guess what? He's cheap. He's underpaid. So for me personally, I wouldn't let him go. On principle alone, he would sit and not work for a year and a half if he didn't want to work. And I would pay him because it would be worth it for me to pay him not to be on their TV.
Oh, yeah.
That's just my opinion.
And Vince will make it, or not. Oh, Jesus Christ. When the time comes, Triple H will make it up to him. Okay. If he does come, but the guy is dynamite. I don't understand the whole, well, Punk is out, so we're going to keep him out.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
That doesn't make any sense.
I keep hearing that. I don't like it. I believe it because the whole thing about everybody saying like, oh no, man, I heard he's really leaving. He's really leaving. Is it possible? It's sure. It's possible. Like I've heard tale of somebody saying like, oh, Triple H is trying to buy out the contracts of Adam Cole and them and get them back or whatever. And I'm like, and Britt Baker too, or something like, because they want to go back now that Triple H is in charge. Whatever. I'm not saying
Britt over there.
She was there for like a couple. She like literally, I think, did a drive.
Mae Young or something.
I don't know. I can't remember. But here's my take. Here's what's simple though. Does nobody listen to podcasts? Because like I heard somebody said like, oh, he was spotted like filming something with the Impractical Jokers guys, and I was like, wait, what? Like the Impractical Jokers guys.
I hate that show.
I listen. I'm not a huge fan of the show, but here's what's funny.
My stepson watches it, and I'm like,
but Myron, they were on Jericho's show talking about how they're going to be doing stuff with AEW. So as soon as, and I could be putting 2 and 2 together, and I could be getting 5 maybe. But my take is if they're going to be doing something with AEW, and there's a contracted AEW wrestler filming with them, that's where he's at. Doesn't mean he's gone.
Makes sense.
Now I'm with you. I'll repeat it again. The whole like if you're just keeping him off TV and not selling his merch until Punk comes back, I think that's dumb.
They're not selling his merch?
No, they've pulled everything. Like they're acting like there's a big thing about it. So like
Oh, then they've got their return shit set up. Then they take him off TV and they get him to doing a with those goofballs from Impractical Jokers. We think he's in contract problems and everything's wrong. And then you bring him back to this big, massive surprise return where he ruins something Punk's doing and the whole world goes nuts.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man.
God,
so I think that's what happens. I mean, but he's not leaving. I can't see him leaving at all. So,
well, I mean, Tony Khan will we'll give him enough to make him stay. If he still wants to stay there and do that, the AEW stuff, Tony Khan will make it worth his while.
He should. That would be the first one I think Tony Khan needs to bend over backwards to keep.
Yeah.
That's just my take on it, but
there's a lot of guys he could let go, but he's the guy you got to keep,
and he has.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. So, but also what you want to keep in mind, make sure you're heading over to the YouTube channel, Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you're signing up. If you want to become a member, get the show early, get some extras, get my daily mind dumps, some watch alongs coming up. I've got 2 new ones that I think people are going to be excited for. Sign up there, pick your tier, sign up, get behind that paywall. Or if you're just going to be an old regular, subscriber, subscribe. Like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, make sure every time something releases, you get it. So that way, if we move the days on, you're not surprised.
I'm so happy with the reception we've gotten on YouTube.
Oh, absolutely agree. And to all the podcast listeners, Apple Podcast, iHeartMedia, Spotify, Amazon Music, etc. By the way, I listened to the podcast again in the kitchen the other day while I was making breakfast. That's always that's fun. Last week, I told my Alexa, the Echo box, I said, "Hey, Alexa, play the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast." Bam, and it come on. So
you have to say Alexa first.
You have to say Alexa to get her to turn on. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, man. Make sure you're giving us the 5-star rating review if you're so inclined. Make sure you're checking us out. All that good stuff. We greatly appreciate it, man. That's all of the national stuff I got in. But man, you know what? I'm gonna do something a little different. We got a few minutes before we wrap up this.
Oh.
So I'm gonna do something we haven't done in a while. I'm going to throw a little indie flavor onto the end of the show this week.
Oh, I didn't get to go. Tell me about the shows.
Yeah,
Tell me about the shows.
Absolutely. So Friday night, I made the drive up to Canton, went and saw Southern Honor Wrestling's RumbleJack. To me, it's their second biggest show of the year. They have their big anniversary show in a couple months. But the RumbleJack, dude, they pulled right at 550, 547, I think was the actual number.
Whoa.
Good house.
Mucha Lucha to draw over that these days.
Mucha Lucha crushes it. Yeah, Mucha Lucha crushes
yeah,
it. They're a whole other creature.
Lucha.
Yeah.
But wow, that's an awesome crowd.
And they draw that because it's one of those shows where, like, you know, it's a Royal Rumble style match. But when the last two competitors, it becomes a lumberjack match, and then the winner gets a shot at the title. So that's the spin and the twist on it. Look, there's so many things. Like, who are the big surprises, right? That's what everybody wanted to know.
Yeah.
Canton, Georgia got Ernest the Cat Miller. Ooh. Everybody loves the cat, dude. He's so funny. And I will tell you this. This is what was the twist. He came out earlier in the night, Ernest the Cat Miller. And the RumbleJack, the Ayatollah, came out. His character from the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. So the Ayatollah was actually in the RumbleJack. That was gold. That was gold. Jimmy Wang Yang made an appearance. His daughter Jazzy Yang was in there. But the big shot, I put it up on Facebook like as it happened because it completely was. I was like, get out of here. Enzo Amore, or the artist formerly known as, made his a surprise entrance into the thing. And it's funny that I was talking to Gary after the show. How long's it been? 4 or 5 years since he's been in WWE?
Oh yeah.
When he came out, he did not do the chant. Like, he did not do the thing for copyright reasons, trademark reasons, whatever. He would say, "My name is," and he would hold the mic up, and the fans would say, "Enzo Amore," and he said, "And I am," and he would hold it out, and they would do it. So he never once broke any copyright, but the fans knew word for word the entire, like, you know, the whole thing. And I'm like, dude, people forget how over him and Cass were at one point.
Oh yeah,
they were like they were like top guys, man. So that was cool. Now, as far as the actual, like, ramifications on Georgia wrestling, Gunnar Miller wins he won the actual RumbleJack. Brooklyn then, of course, said, "Hey, nobody ever said that the match had to be later. Your match is now." So he had to wrestle Cruel right then.
She's a heel. Oh.
Yeah, total bitch move, right? I mean, just total bitch move. And some shenanigans, so of course Cruel goes out on top, and he's still your Southern Honor champion. But what I wanted to get at was, I mean, listen, All-Star Special, by the way, defended their Southern Honor titles against Happy Madness, which are now bad guys. They're the heels up there. They're part of the Contra, and they're going to face off again, by the way, next show. So if you missed this one, go see it, because you should. Because, by the way, again, total bitch move. Brooklyn took their music from them to show. They couldn't have an entrance. So they had to came out with no music. It was so funny. Up on the screens, it was a jukebox, and it said "out of order." So they just came out. So yeah, total. But anyway, lots of cool stuff on that show. But what I wanted to point out specifically, there's a reason I really wanted to bring up the RumbleJack. It goes back to something we were addressing earlier. Everybody gets hung up on, like, in-ring action, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So RumbleJack draws near 550. So, and they were there for the event. Don't get me wrong. That's what they were there for. They wanted to see the surprises. They want to see RumbleJack. You know, yeah, they want to see, because here's the thing. Nobody goes into thinking RumbleJacks or Royal Rumbles or Battle Royals. They're not great matches. They're great stories.
What is it?
Gallows. Elbow. Forearm. Yeah, exactly. That's what you get a lot of. I mean, if you start doing too many spots and there's a bunch of guys in there, you're killing each other.
Yeah.
But that's my point is I think it goes back. The event draws. And it did, by the way. The next night, by the way, I did go Southern Fried Championship Wrestling down in Monroe. I went to that show, and it was a really good show. They're progressing their stories. So they're in that phase of, okay, now we're setting the next.
So Todd's setting his frame again.
Correct.
Okay.
They're resetting the frame. They were at basically the only feud that was kind of at the end. Nick Kalen, who I still argue is one of the best wrestlers in Georgia. I just do. I'm a big Nick Kalen fan.
Oh, I don't think there's anybody who could legitimately argue against you with that.
Yeah. He had his opportunity that he earned by winning the Ultimate Battleground, their recent Battle Royals, that they have. Came up short against Billy Buck, who, by the way, just continues to look. Billy's been around for a long time. Nick as well, by the way. And, I had the pleasure of speaking to both of them and saying, great job, great match. What does my opinion matter? It's funny because on one hand, I sit there and I go back there and I make it a point to say, hey, man, it was a great match. To let them know. But on the other hand, I'm like, why does my opinion matter? Like, who the hell am I, right? My opinion doesn't matter. I'm just a fan, but I still want you to know that, right? I still thought it was a great match. But they're setting the table, lots of pieces. Happy Madness progressing. They're the tag team champions there, obviously. But they're baby faces there, so people like them there. Hunter James is still the little prick that he is now. He is tied up with JBE. So now him and Xavier Reyes are both tied up. So I'm starting to wonder, are pieces of the program coming together in Southern Fried as well? Because two of the components that from Anarchy are kind of there in the same group as well. Of course, Tetchy's there too, so he's not the program, but he's just the monster still. So
he's an assassin.
Yeah.
Dr. Brock's Japanese assassin.
That's right. So there, and then of course, I wanted to point out, man, Carly Bravo is taking the Carly Bravo show all over the state. He killed it at Southern Honor on Friday. He killed it at him and Naja Sizzlem had a phenomenal match on Saturday night at Southern Fried. Lots of stuff, man. Like I said, man, it's great action. You got to go out and check them out. Monroe at the Boys and Girls Club there. I know they're running in 2 weeks again, so my dates are horrible in my brain. So it's like,
I hate when I get on that offset schedule with my work, and I don't get to go to any shows. And it's a weekend where both people run. And folks, they've moved me farther away from the shows.
Right.
Okay. I cannot get to Monroe in time to even catch any of the show after work on Saturday. And Canton would already be over by the time I got there.
Oh, wow. Yeah. On a Friday, it would be completely over. Because that show was over. They ran quick. It was like 10:15. They were over. So you wouldn't have even made it. Yeah. Yeah. It was great. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. I like a good quick show. No intermission. I always thought I'd want an intermission. No.
I know the boys like it. They get their merch and stuff like that. But, man, I'm like, dude, show up early and stay late, man. If you're not in the main event, go out there. I mean, whatever, dude. That's just my take. But anyway. But, yeah, man, we always talk about it. Like, go to your local shows, man. Go check them out. I know there's lots of stuff coming up this weekend. I believe Viral's this weekend.
Cool.
So, I mean, check them out. IWE's coming up again. So maybe we'll do another indie show, in the next couple days.
I'm hoping we'll get to go. No, indie show what? Go to one or record one?
We are going to go this week. I'm talking about record one. I want to maybe record a separate indie show as well. But we are going to go to that big show, the district show, that Championship Wrestling District, whatever they're calling it, down in the district club. By the way, I did find out on Friday at Southern Honor, it's 18 or older. And we did not know that going into it, that it's because of the nightclub last minute told them that it's 18 or up. So if you just to put that out there, so that's what I heard. I don't know that to be gospel, but that's
do they sell alcohols at these events? Is that why?
I don't know. I don't know why, but I just heard from. Look, I heard from the commentary team. I'm taking their word for it.
I wish I could go to. Wow, that's insane, man. Bar shows can get crazy.
Yeah, but we'll be there, man. So if you're looking for a good show this weekend, like I said, I know Viral's on Saturday.
PCW's Friday. I wish I could be there, but I have to be up past Cornelia in Demorest, Georgia, at the crack of dawn Saturday morning to move my daughter into college. Well, I'm not going to actually move anything. I'm going to kind of.
You're getting her up there, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So, but man, that's everything I've got. You got anything else before we get out of here, brother?
No, I'm good, boss. I'm good.
Well,
I'm pretty chill right now.
All right. Well, what's the old saying, brother? If I've got nothing, you've got nothing. What time is it?
It's time to tap out.